Chanel is one of the most luxurious high-end fashion houses in the world, one that has survived the test of financial crisis and world wars, and led more trends than any before it. Gabrielle Coco Chanel was a fashion phenomenon. Welcome to Creme De Luxury, the place for an exceptional luxury lifestyle. Her life has been detailed in many books, with Coco Chanel being described as a feminist icon to a Nazi spy. Coco Chanel cut clothes for nearly all the leading royals in Europe. Her elegant couture and accessories were all fundamentally practical. The Second World War forced Chanel to close her fashion house, but in 1954 she managed to come back in triumph. The Chanel 255 prototype was first released in 1929. This was the first handbag, initially made from woolen fabric. The original quilted jersey material had a rectangular twisting lock, but the straps were short, so you could only carry it on the crook of your arm or in your hand like a clutch. Like all other bags during that era, which were handheld and heavy. Coco Chanel then updated and revamped the design she'd been involving since the 1920s. And it wasn't until February 1955 that Coco Chanel debuted a shoulder carried version of the bag, and the end product was called the 255, after the date of launch of the creation, February 1955. The first Chanel 255 flap bag was released for sale in Chanel boutiques with quilted material, a longer all-chain strap to be worn on the shoulder. It is said that the straps were inspired by the straps Coco Chanel found on the soldiers' military satchel that they wore across their chest. Chanel definitely understood the needs of modern women, including the need to be hands-free while attending social functions, prompting the design for a bag to have a double-chain shoulder strap. For the first time, it was acceptable for women of considerable social status to carry a bag on their shoulders, a detail that often freed them from the constraints of holding a clutch. It was considered rebellious, even ill-mannered, but women were enchanted by the practicality it afforded. Chanel herself loved the way she could slip her hands into the pocket of her coat, strike a pose, and go about her business. The 255 was a revelation, and instantly became a household icon. The 255 was the first bag truly created with women's everyday needs in mind, and was packed with practical detail. The unique gold or silver metal all-chain strap slipped through two metal eyelets on each side of the bag. The chains were also said to be further inspired, possibly by the caretakers at the orphanage Gabrielle Coco Chanel grew up in. She chose the same chains that the nuns used to dangle keys from their chains as the 255 shoulder chain straps. The chain is not adjustable, but can be folded and doubled up to make a shorter chain. Chanel did initially use leather field straps with some bags when resources were scarce. This is why a limited number of older 255s can be found with leather woven straps as well. The hardware on a Chanel 255 is usually between 22 to 24K gold-plated solid brass. The 255 also features a burgundy coloured lining stamped with Chanel's initials inside the burgundy colour, which was actually a bright red in the first editions of the 255s, said to represent the colour of the uniform that Coco Chanel had to wear at the Uberzine orphanage where she was raised. The 255 also features a zippered compartment at the inside of the flap, ideal for where Chanel is rumoured to have stored her love letters. The 255 features a square or rectangular shape and can be closed with the flap and lock. The front lock is called the Mademoiselle lock, which translates to Miss. The name was attributed to the lock due to the fact that Coco Chanel never got married. The bag also features diamond quilted leather for durability and comfort, or herringbone pattern on the exterior, using a running stitch to shape the bag and give it volume. The diamond quilt stitching is pretty dense. The standard for the stitching is 10 or more spikes of the needle for 1 inch, which makes the rhombus or diamond shape not too pumped. Traditionally, the 255 features a double flap, which means they have both the exterior flap closure and an interior flap compartment under the flap top. The main interior has an outer flat pocket, and inside there are 2 flat pockets and 1 small pocket, perfect for smaller items like possibly lipstick. And at the exterior of the bag, there is a slip pocket designed specifically to hold money, so you don't have to continuously open the bag. There is an embroidered logo on the inside, and below that there is a stamp with the Chanel name. There is also a Made in France or Made in Italy caption on the inside according to the model and year of production. The colouring of the stamp is usually identical to the colour of the hardware used in the particular model's production. The 255 bag is usually crafted in distressed calfskin, creating the illusion of aged leather, which means that the classic 255 flap is regularly available in two leather options, the aged calfskin or the caviar leather. The Chanel aged calfskin does stand up to the caviar leather in terms of durability and toughness, to which the caviar leather is usually known for. Also, just like the caviar leather, the aged calfskin is unlikely to show scuffs, scratches and marks. It has a fairly soft yet durable texture that should hold its shape for several years. With so much history, the quilted leather stitching is now so synonymous with the brand. Another story behind it is that it's thought to be in honour of Coco's love of horse riding as a girl, when quilted materials was worn by the boys working in the stables. The 255 was initially discontinued shortly after the release of the Chanel Classic Flap, due to its popularity, till Karl Lagerfeld decided in 2005 to bring back Chanel's square lock and signature chain in the reissue 255 bag. It quickly became a popular design amongst Chanel fashionistas, both young and mature. Chanel released an exact duplicate of the original 255 in February 2005 to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the original 255, which was called the reissue. The 2005 reissues were available then in a limited amount of colours, in the black with gold hardware, grey with silver hardware, and white with silver hardware, and in 5 sizes, the 224, 225, 226, 227 and 228, with the 228 later discontinued. The 224 is the small size, the 225 is a medium, the 226 can be known as the large or jumbo, and the 227 is the maxi. Although the name Reissue 255 only applied to the commemorative handbags, it is now used as the name for all the handbags that look like the original 255, referring to all flap-style bags that have all metal chain straps and the Mademoiselle lock. There are about 180 steps in total to making the Chanel 255. The time of production for one bag can be anything from 10 to 18 hours and can require anywhere from 6 to 15 people to take part in its production. Only expert artisans are allowed to participate in this process, artists who have worked for the Chanel fashion house for more than 5 years. It is said that only a woman artisan can give the right shape to the Chanel 255 bags. The bag composes of 60 elements which are put together both manually and automatically. It says 3 lambskins are used to produce each bag, because only their most delicate parts are selected. In each bag, the inside is created first and then turned inside out. And then the Chanel 255 bag is subjected to rigorous testing before it leaves the production centre. There is a full inspection of the stitching, the colour details, all attachments, and it's also tested against wear resistance, UV cracking and waterproofing is clearly inspected too. The 255 is also placed in a chamber with heat and humidity levels close to that of your average steam room for about 3 days. Chanel bags are supposed to be workhorses built from tough material and are actually designed for daily use. Rule of thumb is, if you do use your 255 bag daily and there is minimal wear and tear, you will be able to sell it for at least the price that you paid for it. The Chanel 255 holds the history and longevity of a true icon that most bags of the moment just can't compete with. It's a silhouette that most women have dreamed of owning at some point in their life. The stories behind each of these elements make this such a classic bag and so much more interesting. No bag at Chanel has had a longer history as the Chanel 255 bag. The bag is not only the most iconic bag from the fashion house, but is also one of the most iconic handbags in the fashion world as a pioneer. Iconic pieces like the 255 are passed down from generation to generation. Since the debut of the 255, there have been several variations, and it has been reimagined and revitalized in different colors, leathers, and fabric combinations. Chanel's 255 design is so versatile that it can be worn with literally almost anything. The 255 reissue bag is ideal to use as an everyday bag or a day to night bag, especially in the medium or large size. The bag can easily contain all your daily essentials, and the timeless, elegant design will complement any outfit, whether it be casual, sophisticated or chic. An instant classic. The 255 bags are truly iconic items that have withstood the test of time, trend and fashion. Season after season, the bag becomes a steadfast, still as relevant to luxury customers today as it was back in 1955. Some studies have shown that since the 255's release in 1955, the price has far outpaced inflation. A 255 flat bag cost $220 in 1955, believe it or not. Research shows that Chanel price increases between 1955 and 1990 were generally explained by inflation. But there has now been a rapid price increase since the 1990s and especially from 2010. Specifically, its prices has increased from over £2,500 in 2010 to over £6,000 as of 2021. This goes to show the value of a Chanel bag and why they can actually be great investments. But please note that we at Creme De Luxury are not economists or investment gurus. With over 65 years history, the Chanel 255 is more than just a handbag, but an epitome of functionality and elegance. Its fine craftsmanship has definitely earned its luxury status, and these bags are often seen as a sign of wealth and luxury. The Chanel 255 is so popular amongst celebrities and socialites. Chanel also regulates their 255 supply, which means that the amount of new flat bags are limited and the waiting list is not uncommon. The cost of a Chanel 255 can depend on several factors, from the leather types used to the colour or size. Exotic leather types typically demand a higher premium, and hard to find limited editions will sell for more than the original retail price. The 255 has infiltrated the wardrobes of all it girls, celebrities and socialites alike throughout its long reign over the luxury fashion industry. The 255 is more than a handbag now. It's a piece of iconography that has transcended time, trends and generations. And that concludes our 255 deep dive. We will see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye from Creme De Luxury.